I'm Janessa Johnsrude, and I'm a faculty member at Dell'Arte International School of Physical Theater, and I'm also an arts and corrections teacher at Pelican Bay State Prison. In the spring of 2016, Dell'Arte partnered with the William James Association Prison Arts Program to start bringing theater classes as part of the arts and corrections programming. We started with 4 students in the minimum security facility, and now we have students on all the yards. Personally, I didn't know what to expect going in. I had never been in a prison before, and to go to a place like Pelican Bay that's a level 4, it's a really intense environment. And the act of even getting inside to the space that we teach in is arduous. It's essentially a cage. You do? Are you ready? There it is.
As someone who's really into psychology, right? I think that there's many forms of healing. As adults, I think we get accustomed to dealing with our problems in a certain way. So probably violence. And we don't know how to deal emotionally. And in the arts, you can kind of, convey that. In painting, you can throw your emotions on paint. In writing, you can put it out in a poem, in a story. In theater, you can just let it go. And for this, while we're here, we can, release our anger through our acting.
My name is Zuzka Sabata. I'm the Arts Engagement Director at Dell'Arte, and I am co-founder and co-lead on Dell'Arte's prison project at Pelican Bay State Prison. It's a pretty interesting process to go through, starting out with a lot of assumptions. Yeah, TV is not an accurate representation of reality, I will say that. Physically being there was definitely intimidating at first. I'm stepping into a space that is characterized by an expected high level of violence.
Prisoners are stigmatized in our society. We tend to deduce people down to their crime, that they're bad people because they're in prison. Once you're inside and working with them, it's like, these are people, these are humans, these are guys. That's what I love about doing theater in a place like the abandoned chow hall in a level 4 security prison, is that you can transform the space. That ritual lends itself to finding a way to escape being in there almost for a moment.
I believe that acting can help you communicate, because you have to find that place with that person you're talking to. You have to read that person, and you have to find that emotion or that feeling within you and allow him to express himself. And like what you were teaching us, it's a give and take.
One of the rules in our syllabus is that when we're improvising, there are certain things that are unacceptable behavior. No foul language, no sexually explicit stuff, and no weapons. For any person, it is pretty natural, and you'll see kids do this all the time, that when you're learning how to play with somebody, going directly to a point of conflict is what is sort of the initial impulse. 2 characters meet and they get into a fight. And what ends up happening is that the movement of the scene actually stops. So part of that no violence and no weapons is to actually take that sort of easy choice away, and for a lot of people in prison, a really familiar choice, and to begin exploring the extremely wide range of other choices one can make.
It's their first time making a collaborative piece of theater as an ensemble. It was their first time for a lot of them performing. We started the project by looking at the main soliloquy from Hamlet. Hamlet is contemplating suicide. He's also contemplating murder, and these stakes are things that they have dealt with in their life in a very real way.
Because how do you say not to be? Like, to be, or should I kill myself? Right?
To be
or not to be?
Okay, yeah, I have more to say, but let's just practice. Be or what? Not.
Don't cry. You are still in prison. Do not cry.
Aaron got the whole thing.
So they went off, and I asked them simply to write a monologue that came from a point in their lives of questioning themselves.
Shut off from the rest of the world. No one can hear me, not even if I wanted them to. Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? Anybody hear me? Anybody hear me? Can anybody hear me? All I had was this mirror. the reality of my future to face. We've all been in those moments where we feel like we're just stuck in, there's nobody there for us, and we just feel boxed in, and we don't know, we don't know what to do. Sometimes you feel like you're on your own, and you aren't hearing from nobody. It's just like, I'm stuck, I'm lost. I've came in when I was a teenager, and I've never had a job. I didn't finish high school. I did all that in year after I began college, but me, I guess I'm referred to as an introvert, where everything I think, and I don't know how to express it. I didn't know how. It was hard for me to open up. People can look at it like it's real small, like it's just theater, but this is something I know I would have never even thought about participating in before I came to prison. And even while I was in prison, it's something a lot of people ask me too, what are you doing in theater? It's funny, and it kind of gets me out of this place for a little bit.
Have you ever done it before? In elementary school. Gingerbread man.
Who did you play?
The gingerbread man. Well, I wrote my piece when I was in the SHU. I got a phone call, someone died. When I was little, I had a family member, and when they felt some type of way about somebody, they would say they would write a letter to that person, but they would never give it to them. It was just to get it off their mind, off their chest. So that's what I started doing.
Yeah, I'll remember your name because it is mine, but I'll forget your face in just a few years' time. You left me before, so this ain't nothing new. An old familiar feeling from out of the blue. From where have you been to where did you go? I guess your love I'll never know.
When I say, if I said I'd miss you, I wouldn't know why, and if I said I loved you, that would be a lie. For whatever it's worth, farewell and goodbye. Because a lot of times people will say those things and not mean them, and I just kept it all the way real, and we're here for certain reasons, for things that we've done, but I wouldn't want people to always assume that's us. We have a lot to offer if they give us a chance.
So we invited Dell'Arte staff and faculty to come in for an open class, the first performance ever at the institution by the inmates. And they performed work that they created for each other and for the invited audience.
This will be the example.
Greetings, ladies and gentlemen. We would like to welcome you to our Pelican Bay Theater class here on B-Yard, GP. We put together a work of collective writings mixed with Shakespeare's most famous soliloquy, Hamlet. And we hope you guys enjoy the show today.
To be or not to be? Hey, sport!
Ring, ring in my ear as the bad news settles in. Rainy days in October, and they say my father won't make it to year's end. This is our last phone call ever. I can't believe this is happening. I want you to know you raised me strong, and you could let go now happily, knowing that everything you taught me will guide me throughout my life.
Thinking about if you was here, waiting to be the same. But I was stuck in the system, on my way to prison. This is for my loves, this is for my own. Thinking about my loves, thinking about my own.
For a person that likes to think himself as fearless, there's a lot of things I fear, and a lot of that is internal. I'm learning how to interact with people, learn how to be there for people, how to be present, how to care about things other than yourself. And we need that because we don't know how to deal emotionally. We come in here and, like myself, I'm in here because I didn't know how to deal with emotions, and eventually somebody died because of that.
In a place so devoid of anything of value, you start to realize all the things you didn't value. So what in your life is of value?
I'm a man who's trying to survive a hard situation and trying to get back to his family. I'm not a criminal. I don't think any of us are criminals. We may have made mistakes in the past that led to us being here, and we're being punished for that now, but that doesn't make us lifelong criminals. This prison environment isn't what most people think it is. There are a lot of people in here who just want to get by and do what they have to do to get out of here. The way I look at it, we're kind of like citizens. We're just a different type of citizens living under a different type of government within a state, within a country. My main goal in writing is just to leave something positive behind for my son, instead of just all this negativity.
Pelican Bay is isolated. It's in the northernmost part of the state. It's very far away from most of the communities these guys come from, their families, their friends. We're cutting them off from society, and the act of locking somebody up behind all these walls, there is an immense sense of isolation. How can we expect that model works for helping transform somebody or heal somebody? One of the guys, when the group left, made a comment that that's the first time that he's interacted with people from the outside in 11 years that aren't his family or teachers. I get to go in there once a week to work with them. I get a tiny sliver of what that could possibly be like, but I can't understand.
I haven't got to have the chance to experience going to work and coming back, getting my first paycheck and taking care of a daughter that I've created out there. She's already an adult and she's already got a kid, so I'm already a grandpa, and I don't even, you know what I mean? So life goes on out there. So I'm looking over this fence right now. I'm trying to get back home and begin my life with my grandson now, my daughter, and my family, you know?
Either you have a life sentence or you're soon to go home. We're trying to do our best to put back. So we're changing ourselves to where it's not just take. We have something to give back, either to an inmate who is going home or to those we are going home to.
In society in general, it is usually a lack of understanding or communication that results in conflict. For me, what's a really crucial aspect of arts and corrections programming is that the majority of the people who are in prison will one day leave prison. I think it is crucial to really consider what happens to that human being during that time. Theater in particular is a gift because it is literally a space to practice interactions with other people in the world and to explore that range of interaction, and in particular, interaction that is not violent and is not harmful.
They have stories. They have really interesting stories to tell. They have a perspective that not a lot of us have. What I see happening in classes is a transformation. Theater offers the chance to explore what it means to be human and to express that humanity. And I think that these classes are important just for that, to validate this human existence and this life.